Hello everyone, how are you going? Welcome to why Canada Goose jackets are so expensive. Now look, I've definitely heard of this brand before, but I've had very little to do with it because to be honest, everything like these, be it North Face, Patagonia, Canada Goose, is just really expensive and we don't have that much need for it to be honest either. And so why are these jackets so expensive?
This jacket has been banned from a UK high school.
Banned?
Why? An effort to poverty-proof the school environment, shielding low-income students from feeling bad about not having a pricey coat. Canada Goose jackets cost anywhere from $500 to $1,500.
What?
And they're not just popular in English high schools, they're everywhere.
That's
How did these coats get so popular? And why are they so expensive?
God, that's some serious dough.
Canada Goose started out as a working class brand, and it was really focused on the working class laborers up in Canada.
Canada Goose was founded in 1957 by Sam Tick in a warehouse in Toronto, and it was originally called Metro Sportswear. By the 80s, people were sporting the company's jackets in the coldest places on Earth. Its expedition parka became standard issue at Antarctica's McMurdo Station, where the scientists nicknamed it Big Red. And in 1982, one of the company's jackets made it to the top of Mount Everest on the back of Laurie Skreslet, the first Canadian to summit the mountain.
So we're always trying to find the authentic in a saturated world that's kind of contaminated by materialism. You get those credentials through the craftsmanship. You also get it through a history of the brand where it's born of experiences that were actually real that then became products.
Now that little snippet has certainly gone and enlightened me to a whole boatload of information that I had no idea about, but to be honest, none of it was particularly surprising. The fact is, at least these jackets were just rooted in some sort of polar expedition, or at least some protective layer that doesn't sacrifice function over form, and now just has this overly inflated price tag to the point where you just have to keep them out of UK schools to stop this kind of poverty and bullying like that. Like, that is pretty darn insane. I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, to be fair, I didn't actually know the UK schools allowed their students to be wearing any sort of jacket. I would have thought that it's not the uniform or the highway. If it was in the States, I would completely understand it because that's just free reign, but in the UK, that certainly surprised me. But no, like I was saying, I'm not completely surprised by the fact that this brand, I mean, it's been renamed, but this brand is not a new thing. It's been around for a long time because, well, if nothing else, Canada definitely would have had the need for something like this ever since it's been a thing. And nothing encapsulates that more than just seeing these kind of images, you know, black and white photos and just thousands and thousands of years of basically making these jackets out of animal fur instead of, I guess, polyester derivatives. And so even though in Australia these jackets are very few and far between, I mean, I've certainly never owned one or let alone put one on for that matter, but at the same time, I just don't think you can be spending an extra $1,000 and go, yes, I've got my value for money here.
So what do Canada Goose jackets have that others don't? The company uses high-quality Canadian Hutterite down, recognized as one of the highest quality in the world. The company claims its animal fur trim disrupts airflow and protects exposed skin against frostbite. In fact, Canada Goose says its jackets can withstand temperatures as low as -30 degrees Celsius. And that sort of quality doesn't come cheap. Western coyote fur, similar to what Canada Goose uses, is estimated to cost $104.
People need that kind of performance, that kind of functional quality in their day-to-day lives. And it's unusual to see such a brand transform into a luxury brand, but Canada Goose has been very successful at making that transition.
By the turn of the millennia, the company got a new CEO who would revolutionize the name Canada Goose into the luxury brand we know today.
The fact that you can even manage to do that is honestly admirable in terms of, from a business perspective, going, no, we're not just going to be for the everyman, we just want to be making way more money. And I guess they just set out and they accomplished exactly that. The fact that you can just be going and selling these jackets for way more than you were before, and everyone still wants to buy them, and even more people want to buy them now. That's the incredible thing. Price goes up, so more people buy them. It's like, what? That just doesn't even seem to be right, but I guess it's just proven in the facts. And look, to be fair, in terms of justifying the price tag of these jackets, I can understand how, rightly or wrongly, if you are including real animal pelts, that is going to just drive the price up because, well, for one, it's a luxury good, and two, it's more difficult to acquire. And if that then goes on to just help you have a selling point, like, okay, it enables us to give it a -30 degree rating, whatever the hell that even means, or we just can prevent against wind chill or frostbite because of the furs and all those kind of things. I mean, it physically makes sense, but it's just about realistically, does it make that much of a difference? $1,500 worth? Probably not, but that's alright. It's a luxury good. I mean, look, let's just have a look at everyone's other favorite semi-luxury brands. So we go North Face and we go, sure, let's just go jackets. sorting by price high to low, how much do they go up to? $700. Okay, so they are certainly cheaper, but I can only imagine that that jacket, or any of these kind of decently expensive jackets, are going to be performing relatively alright in minus 30 degrees. I mean, you have to obviously do layers and things like that, but just as a jacket, how good can you really be as one layer? I mean, it's a bit scary to see how much, oh my goodness, $2,000, and it doesn't even look like it's going to be protecting you to minus 30. I mean, this one, maybe a little bit more, but where's the one with the fluff that is apparently just driving up the price? Nowhere to be seen. Where is the classic? Okay, still not seeing the classic one. So for $1,000, I have no idea. I mean, apparently they're just giving them a rating, but come on, any of these jackets could be just keeping you warm. Oh, I didn't know that. Their cheapest jacket, or at least the one listed here, is $925, and so they definitely are in a class of their own compared to North Face, Patagonia, Kathmandu, Macpac, all these brands that at least I know. Maybe Arc'teryx would be competing closer to these guys, but really, you can only get so much performance.
In 2001, Samtic's grandson Danny Reese was named as the company's president and CEO. He started expanding the brand in Stockholm. His commitment to quality limited supply, but that only increased demand. The brand spread throughout Europe mainly on word of mouth. Then Reese targeted America. His parkas became the unofficial uniform for cold weather film crews, and in 2004, the coats made it in front of the camera. Reese continued to market through the silver screen, sponsoring film festivals in cold places like the Berlin Film Festival and Sundance. And its US exposure hit a new high in 2013 when Kate Upton donned a Canada Goose parka on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Cultural marketing is that the products are part of the culture, and the advertising is actually the product just living lives with the people who use it.
Through that association, they really raised their stature. And again, that's an interesting, authentic way that Canada Goose made its entrance into the luxury market.
Once you're able to break into that luxury market, there is nothing that stops you from just being an absolute money printer, especially once you just have it on celebrities at red carpets and just sponsoring different events like that. People go, yeah, I'll wear it because I actually want to wear it because I think I need to wear it, and it also looks good. And so it just adds to the entire appeal and almost just becomes a status symbol. If you have this jacket, you are of this class because, well, you have to have money to afford it, and that's where the cycle goes round and round until you're getting jackets that are $2,000. And for some people in that segment, that kind of money is so negligible. You know, they're worth millions and billions, whatever it may be, and you can just go out and buy a new one every single day if you really wanted to. And so of course you just able to wear it as everyday wear while still having your status symbol just out on display and not having to worry about it getting damaged because you can afford to be wearing this kind of status symbol. Also, I have never heard this kind of marketing and advertising strategy summed up so succinctly, just saying cultural marketing is that the products are part of the culture, and then she goes on to say that advertising is actually the products just living their lives, and that is just what it is, the appeal of wearing it, but also the appeal of the lifestyle that apparently comes with wearing it. I mean, coming back to its roots a little bit though, I do love the fact that the guy's grandson became the CEO. I mean, it's a very different timeline and a very different enterprise, and he's obviously going down a very different path, just expanding internationally, but at the same time, I love the fact that it's still kind of in-house, so to say. And look, I do have to give credit where credit is due, because to have the idea to expand into Europe of all places is definitely a hard market to crack, but if you can do it, there is no better place besides maybe Antarctica, because you've got so many people dealing with constant cold in the winter. You know, yes, Canada deals with cold, but they don't have the population, and the US just doesn't get as cold as some of these places.
There has been some backlash though. PETA has protested against the company's production methods and pushed the company to use a cruelty-free alternative. Despite the protests, the company is on the upswing. At the end of 2013, Reese sold a majority stake in the company to Bain Capital, which allowed the company to expand manufacturing in Toronto and Winnipeg and eventually open a store in New York City. Its expansion continued for 4 years, and in 2017, the company went public. On its first day of trading, the company's stock jumped 25%, and it's continued to rise through most of 2018. The company's revenue has increased from 291 million Canadian dollars in 2015 to 591 million Canadian dollars in 2018.
Oh, is this video made in 2018? It came out 3 years ago. Okay, so not 2018, but still, the fact is that these guys have just been making some brilliant business decisions to get where they have got. I mean, I do need to go back and look at, what was it? Bain Capital. I've definitely heard of them before, but I have no idea who they are. Oh, hang on a second, an American private investment firm. I mean, I guess that makes sense as to why I would have heard of them before, but I definitely would have thought that they were manufacturing something and then they just brought Canada Goose online or under their own wing, but no, it's just a subsidiary that they owned and wanted by $160 billion of assets. God damn. I mean, I guess that certainly answers the question as to how you can possibly be affording to just expand to that degree, but to be honest, it was a very, very good investment because they doubled their money in, what was it, 3 years or so? Honestly, whoever has a signature at the bottom of that page just to buy that, I'm sure they got a very, very nice tap on the back for that.
The world seems to have shifted from materialistic displays of wealth and status to more experiential displays.
New luxury is really aligned with the new consumers, which I call Henrys, the high earners not rich yet. New luxury appeals to them. I mean, it's substance over style, democratic luxury, rather than elitist luxury reserved just for the wealthy.
Canada Goose has found a niche between accessible outerwear like Patagonia and exclusive outerwear like Montclair and Prada. In 2018, the company accounted for 6% of the $11 billion premium outerwear market.
Traditional luxury, which is very much hinged on exclusivity and elitism, just reserved for the wealthy, is being disrupted by new luxury ideals that young consumers are bringing into the marketplace.
And so just hearing that, they've honestly just positioned themselves so well, just kind of undercutting all the competition, but still providing the kind of status symbol that so many people are after. And I've never heard of that kind of acronym before. Was it a Henry? High earners not rich yet. I mean, I've never heard anyone described as that, but it makes so much sense. It's like you haven't accumulated what traditional wealth would be, like millions and billions, but you were just earning serious money. But actually also be willing to bet that there is a decent amount of those people that would never achieve that rich status because they are just caught in this circle of high income but also high outcome, just spending $2,000 on a jacket and then getting the new one and getting the Mercedes-Benz or the BMW, not Bentley, not Rolls, just these kind of high-end tier but not ultra luxury goods. I mean, they also just touched on it here, and that is why I was saying I think they picked their market segment beautifully and honestly perfectly, just at the very top end of what so many people or so many more people can afford. I mean, to be honest, I also think that a lot of people that can afford a $1.5 jacket can also afford a $2.5 jacket, but to be fair, I guess it is on $300, which is Patagonia, which like I said is also quite expensive in Australia. But even though this video has done a great job of providing so many different examples as to why these jackets are priced as they are, you know, be it the fox fur or be it the quality or be it the quantity or I guess lack thereof, either way I would love to know the average and also the median income of people that are buying these jackets, because I reckon some people are spending way too much money on things they just cannot truly afford. And look, if you have bought one of these jackets in the last 5 or 10 years and you absolutely love it, then hats off to you. If you saved up for it and it's just the thing that you go to every single day for winter, more power to you. But I would also love if anyone bought one of these jackets back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 90s, whatever it may be. I would love to have a comparison there because I reckon there'd be a bit of a difference.